guys, I cannot believe we are 1 month in to our 4.5-month around the world journey. We just got to beautiful Sicily, Italy, after escaping the bitter cold of Budapest. And trust me, I have made a few packing mistakes, but I have also had a few home runs too. So let's get to my biggest packing mistakes and must-haves so your packing can be seamless and easy. If you've just stumbled upon our channel, I'm Heather and this is Paul. We're taking retirement on the road, the rails, and the waves. Welcome to the Freedom Strategy. Now, I am going to start straight up with what I think the best decision that we made, which is this Osprey 2-pack backpack system. Well, actually, the best decision is deciding to spend our retirement traveling, but we are talking about packing, so let's get to it. This backpack system is a total home run, and no, this is not sponsored by Osprey, but I'm telling you, they really should sponsor me because we love this system. Now, I did this whole video up here. The link is also below on how I pack for 4 months in this backpack. So I'm not gonna go into all of those details here. What I am gonna tell you is exactly why this was a home run. Now, first things first, I used to pack with a roller bag carry-on and a smaller backpack. And that system worked just fine. But when you're doing a lot of international travel, you will run into staircases and escalators that don't work and train platforms that, yes, you have to mind the gap because there is a big gap. And having that roller bag just simply does not work very well. A lot of people say, well, I can't use a backpack because it's too much weight on my back. And the reason I'm putting this back on is to show you this hip belt absolutely takes about 80% of the weight of the backpack off and puts it right on my hips. So it's honestly, in my opinion, it is easier than using a roller bag and having to carry it up and down the stairs. Truly, it is less physically demanding. Okay, so that's the first reason it's a home run. The second reason is this 2-pack system. As you saw, it attaches to the front. This is where I keep all of my important electronic stuff, my computer, anything that I'm gonna need on a day-to-day basis, just in case I have to check this. Now, I also want to tell you, we've done many, many flights, both internationally and local within Europe. We've never had to check either bag. So I'm not saying we never will have to, but we have not. But if that was the case, I would keep this with all of my important stuff, and it straps to the front. Now, I have had several of you ask, how much does it weigh? We finally have weighed it. So total between both packs is about 40 pounds. So it's really split to about 25 pounds on the back, 15 pounds on the front. And again, it is super easy. I cannot tell you how many times Paul and I have looked at each other and said, this is the best system. We are so, so happy with it. So that is my #1 home run. But a very close second is how we manage our electronics. So let's get to that. Now, like I said, I do put all of my electronics in this bag. I have a pretty heavy-duty laptop computer, and I also keep my little pouch that organizes all of my electronics in here as well. It's super handy because this bag is always under our airplane seat or our train seat, so I always have access to it. Oh, and one other thing that I think is super convenient about this pack, when I have it on my front, everything I need at a moment's notice is in this top little pouch. So it is where I keep my passport, my wallet, anything that I'm gonna need immediately goes right in this pouch. So as we're going in and out of security, I just throw it in here, goes through the x-ray, and then take it out. It could not be easier, and I cannot say enough good things about this bag. But let's move on to electronics and what we've done that has made it so much easier and so much lighter to carry. So when you're packing for extended travel, you want the fewest number of things that you can get away with and the lightest things you can get away with. And that often means consolidating things. And when it comes to electronics and charging, it all comes down to these two things. Now, first, I would like to thank John and Bev at the Retirement Travelers. They have an amazing YouTube channel that's all about retirement travel, which is what we do full-time as well. But that is where I first heard about this two-part Anchor system. Now, this is the Anchor charging block. Now, obviously, your electronics, they come with all kinds of things and blocks and cords to charge with. So like your iPhone, it comes with a block, and your watch comes with a block, and anything comes with a block. This replaces all of those blocks. In fact, you'll see we don't even carry any of those blocks anymore, thanks to this. This is a 140 watt charging block. It plugs directly into 110. We do carry an international adapter for when we need that. And it has all of these ports. So I am able to charge 4 things at one time. It has 1 USB port and 3 USB-C ports. So I have one of these and Paul has one of these. That means we can pretty much charge everything all at the same time. One thing that is so awesome about this is that the middle USB-C port is a high power, high speed charging port. So it can charge our computers. Yes, our laptops. So you know how your laptop comes with that big, huge, heavy charging block that's got, cords going both directions? This replaces that. It comes with its own USB-C to USB-C cable that can handle that high power. So we just plug it into here, and then this other end does plug directly into our computers. Most modern computers do have a USB-C port that will charge, and no, I did not know that before this trip, but look at how much this has saved us. I can't even tell you. Well, every single thing gets plugged into here. And we have minimized the amount of charging cables to just a very few number. Also, Paul did a video on our travel electronics specifically. That video is up here and a link to it below. It is super helpful and will give you much more detail about these things. And then the second piece of the puzzle is this charging brick, I call it, battery pack. I don't really know what it's called, but it is also made by Anchor. It has a ton of battery space. It is a little bit heavy, but it charges so much. This one pack will actually charge my entire computer, and my computer is a power hog, but it also has its own set of cables. So if we need an additional USB-C, we've got one there. And then this handle, which isn't really a handle, also is another cord. So I am telling you, there is almost no limit to what we can charge. This, when it's full, it can charge our phones multiple times. It's wonderful because in Europe, and frankly, all over the world, often you do not have an outlet next to your bed, so we use this to charge our phones and whatnot at night. So, another home run. I'm 2 for 2 so far. Now the next one, Paul and I do not agree on. So, let's talk about packing cubes. And since we were just talking about electronics, this is not really a packing cube. I wouldn't call it that. It is the organizer where I've had this for so many years, I can't even tell you, where I keep the cables that I do need to charge, which that number of cables does keep getting smaller and smaller thanks to all of my other stuff. So I highly recommend this. I will put links to everything I'm mentioning below. Highly recommend this. But now, packing cubes. I am a huge fan of packing cubes. These I've also had for probably a decade at least. They have all kinds of varieties and brands, but I just find these so necessary. They make everything so well organized. In one, I'll keep my undies and socks and workout jog bras and stuff like that. And then in another one of these, I'll have jammies and an overnight change of clothes. So what I do is these 2 thin, long ones, I do keep in my little pack that I always keep with me. So again, just in case I get separated from the big one, I always have what I need. And then in the larger backpack, I have 2 larger packing cubes. So everything is super organized. One is for, pants and bottoms. Another is for tops and hats. And it is always exactly where I need it. The reason they are so useful to me, number one, I do feel like my packing is much more organized, less wrinkled. But to me, one of the biggest things is there are many places that really don't have drawers or places to put things. So if you have it all in here, it's still neatly organized. Again, Paul does not agree. So he just kind of shoves everything into his bag. I know he has some sort of organization system. I have not been able to figure it out. But he thinks they add a little bit more weight, take up a little bit more space. So that is something that, I don't know, depending on how you pack, for me, packing cubes are an absolute must-have. Now, having said all of that about Paul not liking packing cubes, he does carry this fanny pack with him. Now, it goes inside his suitcase, but what he's done is he has condensed like everything small into this bag. So all of his electronics and cables and everything for that goes in here, his headphones, all of that. But he also keeps all of his toiletries and necessities in this. And when we go out walking around all the various cities we love to visit, he can take that out easily and then just carry this around with us as sort of a day pack. So I might give him a hard time about packing cubes, but this actually is a great solution. Now, one other little surprise that I had on something that just is such a home run for me is my merino wool shirts. Now, I did not previously have these before this trip. And kind of at a last minute, I bought a long sleeve shirt and a short sleeve shirt. And I am telling you, absolute game changer. You can wear these, I can't tell you how many days in a row. I really have actually worn this. Again, it was really cold in Budapest, so this is a great base layer, but it also is sort of fancy enough that when we go on cruise ships, if I wear this with a nice pair of pants I brought, it's kind of dressy too. So it serves multiple purposes. It keeps its shape, it's light, it's warm, it's not bulky, it's not itchy. Again, I can't say enough good things about this. So definitely look into this. They're not the cheapest things in the world, but I do think that merino wool, I use Unbound Merino. I do think they are worth the price you pay. So add that to, yes, that was an unexpected win in the packing game. Now, we're gonna have to get to some of my failures. And yes, I do have those. Now, no one likes to admit their mistakes, including me. Man, I thought I had it all nailed, but there were a few things I got wrong. The first is, oh my gosh, it makes me so sad. My beloved running shoes. I love my shoes. You know, how many videos have I mentioned? I have to have my running shoes, and that's true. Here's the problem. As I've mentioned probably more than once, we were just in Budapest. We were in other countries in that part of the world as well, and it was very cold. And these are great. These are what I use. I wear them on the plane, and I also use them as my everyday walking shoes, and of course, my running shoes. Now, the problem is in cold, rainy, yucky, snowy, sleety weather, they just are not durable enough. They're not warm enough. They're vented on the top to keep my feet cool, which was the last thing I wanted. And they just were not multi-purpose enough. So when you are packing, hopefully some of your retirement travels take you on very long, extensive, wonderful trips. If you're gonna hit multiple types of weather, then I would say don't bring shoes that do not fill multiple purposes. What I should have packed is I have a nice pair of Merrell cross trainers. They would have been much better in the weather, and yes, I can also run in them. So that was a big mistake. And by the way, Paul also made a mistake with his shoes. He has two pairs of shoes. One are his, I think they're Merrells, something like that, that he wears all the time. He brought a second pair that are a little bit nicer, a little bit dressier, because again, we do go on a lot of cruises, and it's kind of nice to have something slightly nicer. But same thing, his were not sturdy enough to really withstand a lot of the weather, and he quite honestly did not use them very much. So he said that was a mistake as well. He should have picked something that was a little bit sleeker and not quite so bulky. So we both made mistakes on shoes, and similarly, I did a lousy job on socks. I believe that Unbound Merino has socks, and I should have bought those. I brought just kind of cheap average socks, and my feet have been cold a lot of the time, and I could have gotten socks that I could use for in cold weather, but also when I'm running. So that was a fail, shoes and socks. Now, another fail, and I thought I was so smart, I didn't bring jeans. I thought, well, in Europe, particularly, and probably in other parts of the world, they don't have dryers. They usually have washing machines, but not dryers in the units where you stay. And so I thought, well, jeans take forever to dry. They also take up a little bit more space. And I didn't bring any. Paul brought jeans, and he wears them almost every single day. And man, every day I do wish I had something more than just either lounge pants or stretchy yoga pants. So what I would do in the future is take one fewer pair of lounge pants and add a pair of jeans. I don't like to wear them on long plane rides, but there have been many, many, many times I wish I had my jeans. So that was a mistake. And moving on with mistakes. If I had it here to show you, I would. If you notice, we do not have our 2-outlet power strip that we did a ton of research on, also did learn about that from the Retirement Travels YouTube channel. It's small, and I'll put a picture of it up here. It's perfect for travel. It's got 2 110 outlets, and Paul and I should be able to put our 2 anchor blocks into that. The thing is, in Europe and other parts of the world, when you put the adapter into the wall socket and then try to plug the anchor charging block in it, that anchor block is a little bit heavy, and it often just pulls right out of the wall, and there's no good way to stabilize it. We have had to get creative, and it has worked. I mean, we've been okay, but that little power strip would have been so nice to just plug in, and then you just set it on the table or the floor, and we can put our 2 blocks right on top of it. Now, the question is, why don't we have it if I researched it and bought it? Well, I did run into what many of you said we might, which is our very first step on this trip was we took a cruise. Now, we've taken this power strip on cruises before, and it was not confiscated, but on that one it was, which still wouldn't have been a problem because you can pick it up at the end of your cruise. That would have been just fine, but if you saw the video we did up here on how crazy and chaotic our first day of this journey was, we had literally no time. Like, we didn't even have 10 seconds where we could go pick it up from the cruise ship. We got off the cruise ship so early, right out of the gates. They didn't even have the table set up where you can get your stuff back that they took. So bad planning on my part. I really do wish we had it. If you're going on extended travels, I highly recommend that you get it. But just be aware, on a cruise ship, they might take it, but they will give it back to you. We just simply did not have time because our flight was too early. And then the next mistake, I don't know if you'd actually call it a mistake, but moving forward in the future, Paul would have preferred to have a smaller, lighter, like a Chromebook instead of a full laptop. Now, I do all of our video editing, so I actually need the laptop. But he said in the future, when this laptop he has, bites the dust, he will get something smaller and lighter, like a Chromebook. So keep that in mind when you are traveling, and just keep in mind whatever your computing needs are. And then the last mistake that Paul says that he made is he did not bring a rain poncho. And I brought a rain jacket, like a shell, which I have used. But Paul wanted a poncho that would go over the entire backpack with a little hood and over his backpack to protect everything from the rain. He did not bring any type of rain poncho. And on our first day getting over to Portugal, yes, it was definitely raining, and he was not a happy camper because it was cold and rainy. That poncho would have been very nice to have. So he didn't have that, wishes he had brought that. I have used my rain shell, and for me, that has been perfectly adequate, and I have enjoyed it. So those were kind of the big packing mistakes, but maybe the biggest mistake of them all is not doing it sooner. So if you are considering extended travel in retirement, number one, I hope this video has helped you figure out what you're going to pack, but also don't wait, right? We've all heard the stories almost on a daily basis. There's some sort of notice. So-and-so died at 65 years old, or so-and-so retired, waited till he was 72 and had a stroke. I mean, it happens. It's out there. Don't wait. I cannot tell you how much we have enjoyed doing this, and we will continue to do it. So that's my little soapbox. Get out there and do it. Thank you so much for joining us on the Freedom Strategy, and we will see you next time.